on a different level going through it.
All right, let's get it.
Yeah, boy. All right. So this is a serious question. Real serious question.
Wazim.
How you feel about your boys, right? Being around another man. Not just being around another man, being around another man. Like another man, like they're raising them.
All right. Damn. Raising them? That's impossible.
Like helping her raise him.
Okay. Helping her raise
It's
them.
very possible.
Yeah, no, that's very possible. You just said raising them though. It's
That's
triggering.
why I changed. That's why I changed. That's why I
It's
changed.
triggering right there.
That's why I changed it.
Nah, dog. I'm gonna keep it platinum. Like, I haven't faced it yet, so you know, the reason why I move how I move with my situation and with you know, Renell, children's father is because like I give the respect that I would like to receive. You feel what I'm saying? So I wouldn't mind you. I wouldn't mind you like assisting. You know what I'm saying? Like if my boy's tripping or something like that, call my phone. If this going on X to the Z, call me, hit my line. Is I would love to have an open line of communication with that person. But I'm too active. I'm too involved. I'm too deaf. Like I have, you know, I have joint custody with my boy. So you know, I have them have the time with the boy's mom and my other son mom. You know, he lives in Atlanta, so we just you know, we talk through text. But as far as I'm too involved, so it'll be tough for somebody else to have a strong input on shit that's going on.
So listen.
Now, what?
Oh, go ahead.
Now, like I don't mind you hitting me and saying, you know, whatever the case may be. But as far as having like a solid input and like voicing your opinion when things happen, that's gonna be tough for me, dog. And chastising could never happen. Like,
So here's I'm on that same sentiment. But the first difference between me and you is I got a girl too.
yeah,
And that changes everything.
yeah. But also for me, you know, I have Leah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Well, no, I'm saying it's mine.
yeah.
You're gonna always feel different
Yeah, right.
because you know you. So you know how you are around Leah.
For sure. Yeah, I'm super
But you know you though.
Right.
You don't necessarily
I know
know
somebody
if
else
another
would-
dude
for
was
sure,
around
for
your
sure.
daughter. So
For
that's
sure.
why it's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if I knew the dude and I knew, you know what I'm saying, if I had the relationship like you and Lou got, that's different.
For sure.
We talking about me, you know, she older, so it don't matter. But that would have been like, I ain't gonna lie, that would have.
Yeah, that should have cracked you up.
Because it's a girl though. For my boy,
Yeah.
I don't. So we talk about the whole daddy, calling him daddy issue.
That can't happen.
And for me, I don't mind. Let me go backwards. Because I don't want to say I don't mind him calling him daddy. If it's my boy, I have to have constant communication with that man regardless. You can't be in his life without having communication with me. Because you're not going to raise my son to be a man like you.
You gotta raise him.
We raising him to be a man like me.
Like me. Right. Or just a great man.
Just a good man, right. But he don't have your traits.
For sure.
And the traits that he will have from you, he's gonna gain by watching you. But he has my DNA. So a lot of shit that he don't even know I do, like shit with my daddy. And I'm sure you probably have done the same thing. You realize when you get older, damn, I do this just like my daddy.
Just like, for sure.
And it wasn't that I watched it, or it's some shit he did before I was born.
For sure.
He was like, man, I used to do that shit before you was born. So
just natural.
Right. So if I'm raising him like that, me and you got to be in constant communication to raise him the same way. And the daddy part, I ain't gonna lie, I take that daddy shit serious.
For sure.
But I think where we differ, I don't really care. Like my son gonna if another man marry his mama,
right? Okay.
and in that house he's the daddy,
Yeah.
he's the man.
Yeah.
I don't mind him saying that's his stepdaddy.
All right.
It's still the word daddy on there.
All
We
right.
know who his daddy is.
But calling him daddy?
You got to think about so many different things, bro. I don't know. First off, I don't know how I would feel because
It's not happening right
it's
now.
not happening. He's 3. He ain't called fucking. He don't even fully say daddy.
Just in general.
But my only problem would be you ain't gonna force him to call you daddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say he can't. It would be a can't force, can't. I'm gonna be active in my boys' life, so they don't ever have to feel that they have to do that. They don't even have to look at another man in that light as they leader. Any kind of force like that, you know what I'm saying? So to call somebody else that. Yeah, that word is strong to me. Like no matter what, no matter how absent a person has been in a child's life. Let's say if like we using hypotheticals or whatever like that. We're gonna, not talk about our situation so much. Just use hypotheticals.
Okay.
If a child has not had their dad in their life for the last 8 years, 7 years, whatever, he's just absent, right? And then I come in and I be that father figure, and that child feel the need to call me daddy. I don't know if I'm wrong or right, but that mean too much to me. That word mean too. I saw it for like years.
So you wouldn't accept that?
Nah.
So here's the.
But let me explain why.
Go ahead.
Let me explain why. Because
I think you know what I was about to say, but go ahead.
Because that even if he's a sperm donor, it doesn't matter. That the creation of life and that child would not be produced in no way, shape, form, whatever, however them two people created that person. If that person was absent, whatever the case may be, that's too powerful, dog, to just say, nah, you let me have that title. Nah, that's still your dad, even if you ain't saw him in 10, 15, 20 years.
But that's not his father.
Well, listen.
That's why you never hear people say daddy figure. They say father figure.
Well, it could, yeah.
That's his daddy.
That's his
who,
dad.
That's who.
But I'm talking about father, dad.
He
can't. I wouldn't allow it to be called father, dad, whatever. Like you can't. I'm not gonna trick myself to say, yeah,
even if you playing that role 100%.
If I'm playing the role 200%.
So listen,
it doesn't matter because that child, no matter how much you think you did for 20 years financially, foot the bill for the child for however long. That's just too much of a that's too much of a strong title to take from somebody, though. Because that child would not be that child.
So that's all right. So that's where that's where we differ, right there, right? I don't feel like you taking that title from the child, from him, because can't nobody take that title from you. Can't nobody take that title from me. You can't. It's nothing you could do. With my son don't really know better yet, but there's nothing you could do with my daughter to make her feel like you her daddy. So I don't feel like nobody's taking that title. That's my fault. I feel like you earned that title. Now, I know we hypothetically, but just speaking on, my situation. My son, he got an older brother. I've been in his life 5 years, right? So 4 years, 20, 4 years. So to me, I am his daddy. And not with his mama, I'm his daddy. With his mama, I'm his daddy. I don't care what the situation. Right now, when he call me, whatever he need, whatever I do for my son, whatever I do for my daughter, I'm doing for him. I got all the chains. He got one too. I meet the teachers every
school year. Right,
we talk about this, but I'm just saying for conversation purpose, I meet the teachers every school year. Me and his mama go shopping together for his school clothes, for his school shoes. When he wants shit, I'm randomly buying him clothes and my son clothes. I call him my son. Nah, you don't have to call me. He know he don't have to call me. He call me Luck. You ain't gotta call me daddy, bro. But nigga, I'm your daddy. You know, because in his mind, like in his phone, I'm stepdaddy.
Right.
So in his mind, but he don't. If I'm giving him the father figure he don't have, but even when we go to the schools and the teachers, is this dad? Yeah. When he drawing shit, the shit say daddy. He giving that to me.
I feel you.
So I'm not taking nothing from nobody. That nigga ain't earned that.
Right. I feel you 100%. Feel you 1,000,000%. But everything you just saying, you go meet the teachers. They wouldn't have a teacher to meet.
That's a fact.
If you took care of him financially, made sure he was straight, whatever. They wouldn't have nothing to take care of if it wasn't for that person.
That's a fact.
Same way and I look at it the same way like a mom, right? Like a woman, she could really give her child up if she wants. A man really don't have them kind of rights now in this day and age.
What you mean?
If he said, like, if a mom said if a mom will say I don't want this child, a daddy can't never do that.
Right.
He can't legally do that.
What you mean?
He can't legally say I don't want this child.
But a mama could do it?
Fucking right. She can give her child up for adoption and transfer rights. A dad can't do that shit. A dad gonna be on child support no matter what.
Oh yeah. You're right.
He's gonna be liable for that child no matter what. A woman.
They got the box where they got the box now where the woman can come up to and drop the child off.
Yeah. And so what I'm saying is that happens sometimes. Like, what I'm saying? Some women fucking let their grandmother raise children for years and then come back and get active in insurance. Like, that shit happen all the time. But I say that to say, like, no matter what happens, like, what I'm saying? A man might have got on drugs, might have whatever. I don't know what the fuck could have happened in a man's life, right? But that title and the part you play in the creation of that person is just too strong for me to ever be called and assume that title. So even if I took care of somebody, I'm just still, it could have another term that means more than dad to that person. But dad just never gonna be.
But then you taking it away from.
Yeah, I would take it away.
But no, what I'm saying is you taking it. You are. Taking it away from that child.
Right, but let me explain. What I'm saying is, it could be my term, whatever I am to that person, could mean way more to them than their daddy can. So whatever that term is, that word.
Shut up.
But whatever that term is, the word, you know what I'm saying? Whatever role I play in that child's life, that could mean more to that child. But I'm not gonna use that word. I don't want that title if it's not for me.
So
like, he could call me, like, if I'm you could be Luck, right? That word, that what you are to that person could be 30 times more than the word dad to him. But yes, you playing a father figure. Yes, you playing the dad role. All of those things. But it's still a role you playing.
But you're not. Yes, it's a role when you step in and step out.
No, you ain't gotta step out to play a role.
Yes.
No.
You don't play a role for life. You don't play a role for life. At some point, that becomes you. Listen what I'm saying. I'm not playing a role as his daddy. I'm his daddy.
You're not, though.
Yes.
No, you're not.
In a sense of what I'm his father.
By definition, you're not. By definition, you're not. You'll never be, no matter what we tell ourselves.
I'll never be.
By definition, you'll never be it. No matter how much we want to, no matter how much
I think you speaking literally.
I'm speaking literally and I'm speaking figuratively. I'm saying that no matter what happened, you really would never be. But what you are could be more powerful than that word, if that makes sense. Like, I got partners that I call. I got partners that I call my brother.
I looked over there like your partner.
I got partners. I got people that I call my uncle or my cousin or whatever like that, right? This person could mean way more to me than my uncle. But I call him my cousin. You know what I'm saying? But just because you my uncle don't mean you closer to me. Don't mean you get more like respect from me. I got people, I got like Menace is my like I call him my brother, but he's not my biological brother.
Right.
But that nigga mean more to me than a lot of my own blood.
Scenario.
But
go ahead.
So whatever word we put on him, that type of person could just be more powerful than whatever a cousin could be to me. You see what I'm saying?
Scenario. You deal with a woman, and you meet her, and she's pregnant. For whatever reason, you meet her, she's pregnant. The baby daddy got killed or died or whatever. So the baby ain't born yet. Now y'all together, not a baby born. You gonna let the baby call you daddy?
I'm not.
The baby don't have no daddy.
I understand that.
So you just depriving the child of what they don't have.
I might be fucking I might
fucked
be
up.
I might be. Yes. I might be stepdad raiser. I might be fucking I might find a new name, like you know how they call.
You know how many people don't know that person. Like you know how many people don't know that the person they call daddy is not their daddy. They just don't know because their mama done lied to them, or because the daddy done lied, or because the mama think it's that person, but they never did a DNA test. Yeah, for sure. You can't tell them that's not their daddy. I'm not. So then it hasn't. So then in that sense, you are not gonna take that away from that person because that's my seed.
Huh?
That's I'm sorry. That's not my seed. That's my child.
Yeah.
Your seed is your seed.
Yeah, right.
Your seed is belong to who made him. But that's my child. Whoever the seed for, he ain't doing enough.
Yeah, I guess you right, but to me you're wrong too. Like yeah, it's your child. But it's not your child, and it would never be, no matter by whatever rule. When
so let me ask you this: when they doing a thing and they say, "Whose child is this?" You gonna raise your hand?
But I would. But
so then it's your child.
No, that's not. Just because like I'm not about to sit there. Like when I walk in the store and somebody be, "Oh, your daughter beautiful," and they talking about Leah, I'm not gonna say, "Oh yeah, hold on, no, time out. This is not my daughter. I'm not about to do all that." Oh, I'm just gonna.
And that's what I'm saying. You don't.
But that ain't got nothing to do. I'm not about. I don't have to explain.
But you shouldn't have to do that at all.
Huh? No, I don't.
So your situation is different because Leah got a good daddy.
Great, amazing.
So that's a different situation. But I know how she is with you too. So that's a totally different situation.
Well, what I'm saying is this.
But in a situation where he's not there,
it wouldn't matter to me. And listen, but I promise you,
crazy,
in every way, shape, form, I mean this.
That's crazy.
I promise you. It didn't matter if they're not there. I'm not about to do that because that ain't me. And whatever role I'm playing could be 10, 30, 50 times more powerful than just that terminology, that word. I don't want to get caught up on the word because that word you will actually never be. If you're trying to like say, hey, daddy, if you define that it came from my seed, my nuts, now you'll never be that. Now, the role you play in that person's life, in that child's life, could be way more powerful. Though they have people that adopt children all the time.
I think that might be a selfish thing. For you taking that away from that child.
No, listen, because it's not about being selfish. It's just about being realistic with the child, with myself. Like they got people that adopt children all the time. When they adopt them, they sometimes don't call them mom and daddy. They call them different words.
But a lot of times they do.
Sometimes they
and
do.
A lot of them kids grow up never knowing that ain't their mom and daddy.
No, but sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Like, what's the name of that fucking movie?
But it's still. My
sister. The Blind Side.
My sister calls her biological father by his first name. She called my daddy.
Yeah, that happened.
And 90% of the people don't know she not his daughter until they watch this.
What I'm saying, well, all right. So to keep it platinum, it's the same way on my side. It's 4 of us, brother, sister. Well, I got 1 brother, 2 sisters.
Okay.
All just me and my sister for my dad, and then my sister and my brothers for somebody else.
Okay.
I didn't realize that they wasn't for my daddy until I was like 19, 18. Never knew it. Did not even think about it until somebody actually told me, like, nah, that's no, not. But what I'm saying is nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? He never told me no different. But what I'm saying is just for who I am and what I understand what that shit mean, I'm not gonna do it.
I think
Cause
you,
now I'm a
I think you
stand.
depriving that child.
I might be.
I think that name means less than their last name.
Hmm?
I think the name daddy means less than the last name. So if you willing to give a child so let me ask you this: if your child if a child that's not yours wanted to have your last name, would you give it to him?
Fucking right.
See, to me, I'm not saying I wouldn't, but what I'm saying is that mean more because that's your lineage.
I'm cool, but listen, that's
Your
what
paw
I'm saying.
fucked up, not the whole
But listen,
family.
once
you taking a piece of you away for real.
Yeah, but once I put them under the family tree, they're forever under the family tree, no matter
So
what.
then that's your child.
But I'm not the word. Wouldn't do that.
I think you're putting too much emphasis on the word.
I think y'all putting too much. I think y'all putting too much.
You think we're not putting enough emphasis?
Enough emphasis because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what somebody say. That ain't your daddy. I don't care what you try to tell yourself. I don't care what you try to. It doesn't matter. Now, for technical, I think people taking away the definition from the actual action of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could act like a father. You could play this great role, and that role could live in whatever term you want to use for that person. That's a personal relationship that you could put whatever title on that you want. I know people that have better relationships with their daddy than they have with other people than what they have with their daddy.
Facts.
But y'all got to put a name on it. That can't be daddy.
Like y'all ever had a conversation about this?
Oh, me or not?
Yeah.
Nah.
Like with the kids?
Nah.
You and Lou and them ever have a conversation?
I never.
You feel?
I don't even have to because I respect them.
I mean, just like in the blendingness of the family.
No, look, honestly, I never had to have a conversation because they know how I move. I make it be understood that I'm helping you. I'm just assisting you. Whatever you need, I'm here. I ain't trying to be more. I'm not trying to be in the front. Like, dog, it's so real with me that it's like, if we take if we take a child to the hospital, I'm gonna stay in the waiting room. I might sit in the car and wait for y'all.
I know you said that.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I don't ever wanna like step on no toes. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to aid just like anybody else would. But I'm not playing with that word. I'm not gonna strip nobody.
I'm not even talking about the word. I'm talking about that scenario. So I feel like a lot of people, a lot of either women or men, and I was kind of wrong for this. My daughter's a little older right now, but I can honestly say I was kind of wrong for her. Like her mama never really fully met my son mama, right? But now my daughter's 20. So it's like really no reason to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they keep them away from each other. For whatever reason, I knew it was like, it just wouldn't have been a good, you know what I'm saying? They had phone conversations and all kind of shit, so it just wouldn't have been good. But in my mind, I be wondering, how do you make that transition and how do you have that conversation? Because I ain't never had to have the conversation with his dad, with I'm fuck what you talking about. I'm calling my son daddy. He's 12. I met him when he was 8. I met him when he was 7.
Right.
I never had to have the conversation with his daddy because his daddy ain't around. So, but how do you have that conversation? How do you go into that conversation? How do you say, you got to be a grown man. You got to, you can't be immature.
You got to be a grown man. You got to be a grown man. You got to be mature enough to have a conversation. But also, you got to understand. It depends on what side you on. Like, you got to understand that you asking for something from another person. You're not stepping in and being like, look, this how I'm moving. No, you're not. You can't do that.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like, it comes a certain point to where, like, shit'll get real if it's not respected. But it's like, no, you asking for that person to.
Are you are you and I'm asking because a lot of people go through this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking for some sort of respect, or are you going saying?
No,
you going saying I'm just letting you know I'm here to give you a certain service?
That's exactly what you're going. That's what you're stepping at the table saying. Listen, as a man, I'm giving you that respect because of the title you hold, the position you play, and
because you're there.
Because you're there, or if you're not there, I'm still gonna give you that same amount of respect for creating that person. So whatever I do respect, if I respect you for being there, if I respect, because we talking hypothetical. So if I respect you for, creating, if I respect you for being there, I respect you for being whatever it is. I'm walking to the table saying, listen, I give you all the respect in the world.
Would you want it to be with
but it also got to be reciprocated.
Would you? That's a fact. That's a big.
If it's not,
I think that's the biggest part.
Yeah, it got to be reciprocated.
Would you want, or like because you never really answered whether y'all did it or not. But do you think the woman need to be there?
No.
Or like on the flip side, so you don't think the woman need to be there?
No, because I think
if a man was with the woman, was with your child mama. And he wanted to come talk to you.
Yeah, I'm ready for that conversation.
She don't need to be here.
Nah, I'm ready for that conversation. All right. Nah, we need to have that Actually, I would be.
Do you think she ever needs to be in the conversation?
At some point to have casual conversation.
No. I'm saying in that conversation with y'all three.
Nah,
I think she does.
No, hold on. What you're asking?
What I'm asking is, or what I'm saying is, I do think, if let's say he was in his life. I do think me and him need to have a man-to-man. But I think me and him need to have a man-to-man after me, her, and him have a talk.
After?
Yes, because she's initially telling me who he is and what he is, and she should be telling him who I am and what I am to him.
Okay, so yeah.
So she has to tell us what we are, because the only binder we have. The only binder we have is the child and her. The child can't speak.
So you're right about that, right? So I think that could come in two ways, right? Yeah, sit down, let's have a three-way, right? Like, look, you tell him about, and I'm telling whatever, you know? Or it could be, listen, I met this person in my life. This is going to the child's father. Look, I met this person in my life. This person has shown me that he gonna be here, whatever the case. I'm ready to introduce him to my children. Listen, this is what it's about to be. I'm ready.
So you think it should come before the introduction to the kids?
Well, should it? Probably not. No, because
I think it depends on the kid's age.
I don't know. I can't speak on it from a woman. I ain't know.
I think well, I'm saying from a man. I think it depends on the kid's age.
Before I meet him, probably not, because I don't even know. You got to meet the children pretty early so you can understand the scenario. Because
if I had to do it over, I would let my daughter mama know before I introduce my girl to my daughter. Because I think that was one of the strains on our relationship. And that was one of the reasons we ultimately split, because of that. Like, it was one of the strains because I just threw her in the midst. You know what I'm saying? Because my daughter was older too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My daughter was 15. So it was like, that was a fucked up. I admit that for that I made a totally bad decision for everybody,
right,
including me. Mainly me, because everybody was mad at me.
Right.
So I made a horrible decision for me, but I didn't stop to think who I was affecting. I ain't stopped to think, damn, that's affecting my child, because I just threw this new woman in the mix.
Right.
Damn, that's affecting her. This new woman, because I just, you know what I'm saying? Now she feel like overwhelmed, like she gotta figure out how to like my child and how to get along with another 15-year-old girl. This is a teenage girl we talking about.
Right.
And then you got her mama, who I just was with, who's now is like, oh, you got another female around my, you know what I'm saying? And you ain't even, and we don't even, and now y'all living together.
Yeah.
No, I fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, I take full responsibility. And again, that was around like I say, I ain't mature until later on in life, just in period, mature. So that was part of the immature time. But I still feel like if I had to do it all over again, I would say us three need to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And little child don't matter to be there. Mm-hmm. But I do think we all need to talk, and then y'all two need to talk. Yeah. And I think it will be vice versa. For me, I would want to talk to you in front of him first. Right. And then talk to him, just me and him. Yeah. And I don't need you there. I don't need you there.
I think it's a little different way. I think it's a little different with women, you know what I'm saying? And you know, making sure they're straight. But when it comes to a man, bro, you know, it's just a men around children is just a different type of energy. It's a whole different type of feel. You know, men are leaders. Men are dominant. Men are all of these things. You know what I'm saying? So our influence on a child has a lot of impact. Women are nurturers and all of these things, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying, the negative things that could come from a person being around your child, and most of the time it's going to come from a man.
So, question.
What?
Who do you like in
well, I will clear a city block out.
You don't even know what I'm about to ask you. Who I know I ain't about to ask you that. Oh. Who do you think has more effect on the child?
I ain't gonna lie, dog. It's both parents. It's like I didn't saw this shit happen multiple times, and I have dealt with it. I have had both parents in the household. You know what I'm saying? And my trauma that I deal with from relationship shit didn't come from my dad. It came from my mama.
Right.
To be all the way platinum, right? So, and then my sister was raised right next to me, directly next to me. Didn't see anything different than I saw. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then her trauma came from my dad. Right. So it's like it whatever trauma she do have, whatever. I'm not speaking for her. If she do, whatever. But it's like both parents play a super, super significant role and can negatively affect the child. If
you think a boy should be with his daddies and the girl should be with the mama?
Nah, it takes both, bro. It really takes both. It really takes both because, for me being a man, my boys got to see how I interact with a multitude of things. They got to see how I move. They got to see how I interact. They got to see how I, all of these things, how I cut grass. They got to see how, you know, like they need to know certain things that's just the intangibles that a woman will never know. Like today I just left and my son was walking around with no shirt on. And I said, look, that ain't what, to me, and this how, to me, that's not how men rock. You know what I'm saying? Right. If they got women in the house, and if a woman is present, you don't walk around with your shirt out. To me, it's disrespectful. Right. And he like, Daddy, but I do it by my mama's house. Well, listen, I'm telling you, as a man, that ain't how you rock. You know what he said? Daddy, I'll never do it again. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Yeah. And he was like,
mama, it's a different teaching.
Yeah, and y'all, listen, he got like, he went in the corner and started crying and shit like that, like, cause he felt like he disappointed me. Cause at first he was like a little argumentative, like, well, Daddy, my mama tell me I could do it. So like, I was like, listen, like, you know, stirring my voice, like, no, listen, this is what you do, and this is what I expect from you, and this is what we uphold as your last name is Bro. This is how we're gonna continue to make this shit move forward. Right. And once he understood it, and once I really he understood it, but it takes for a man to be able to show him that, right? And then for a woman, you know, he needs to learn certain things from his mom that he really not gonna get from
that's my point.
And then for
same woman, thing for a girl.
Yeah, for a girl, like she needs to see me buy her mom flowers. She needs to see how I treat.
A boy need to see that too.
100%. He needs to see me.
Not just a woman.
Yeah.
A boy don't need to see, and this is what I really understand. A lot of the way I am is because of my daddy. But I watched my daddy with my mama.
Right.
As opposed to watching my daddy with other women. Because when I see him do it with other women, it don't really, it's
different.
It's like, okay, you did that. You know what I'm saying? It don't really affect me that way.
Right.
But when I see him do it with my mama, or when I saw him do it with my mama, it affect me in a way like, you know, because when you see your daddy make your mama smile,
it
make you feel different because that's the woman you want to smile all the time.
Correct. It's 100,
so it makes you feel like, okay, that's what I need to do to make a woman feel a certain way or to make a woman happy. But when I see him, so
that's why co-parenting is important, and that's why it's important.
Man, co-parenting. I was just about to ask you,
that's why,
how serious is that shit?
Man, listen, me and the boy's mom, dog, is like the best of friends. Like we don't, like I don't let no relationship, nothing kind of dictate how me and her operate. You know what I'm saying? Like we have this clear and concise line drawn, like that we created before anybody else came in our life, right? And we operate in that space, and we ain't letting nobody, nothing else affect that. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna see us interact. Like it's not gonna be like I'm gonna drop you off and nah. You're gonna see us. You know, you're gonna see us interact. You're gonna see this situation. You're gonna see a happy, cohesive relationship. It's not the same relationship that you once saw, but it's gonna be a relationship that's there. And one thing I think men should do is like, and one thing I do, I never submitted to the ideology of, look, this is how it's gonna be, and however it's gonna be, that's how it's gonna continue to be. Like my grandfather felt the way about something, my dad felt the way about something, so I'm gonna continue. Like I don't believe that. I think men should, as we like, we should push the
evolve. You gotta push the boundaries.
You gotta push the boundaries, but you gotta read.
But you gotta move. You gotta change with the times too.
Yeah, and you gotta read up on how to create a king, because like just because you did something, because you don't want your child to be bounded by your ideology or your thought process. You gotta expand the way you think, the way things operate. Your knowledge that you could go and find. Like now we have information at our fingertips.
Unlimited information.
Like my grandfather didn't have that type of information. So now since I have my daddy didn't even
have the phone book.
Yeah. Like my daddy didn't even have that information when he was 24, 25 raising me. You know what I'm saying? But now since I have that information and I'm able to know how to impute this knowledge into my child, I should definitely push the envelope. So like when certain shit happen and I don't understand it, I do submit to like, look, I ask their mom.
Child as fuck. Go.
When certain shit happen, I do submit to their mom or just a knowledgeable person. It ain't about like in the field that and just because I'm a dad, it could be a situation that's happening with my son. But just because I'm a dad, I'm not gonna just give that information so fast like I should, like I always got the right answers. No, like I'm gonna read up on it and see what's the best product to give to my child so that I can help him grow in a whole different way. Because who I'm trying to make him, I ain't never saw before. I ain't trying to make him like me. I'm trying to make him in like a person. I don't know how Obama was raised. So I'm trying to grow him into something like that. So certain situations that happen at school when it comes to fighting and when it comes to handling himself, I ain't just on some shit like, nigga touch you better knock their fucking head off. I ain't on that. I'm trying to figure.
I'm on that.
I'm trying to figure out ways.
I'm on that.
Listen, I know you on that.
I'm on that.
And I'm not saying that's the right.
Nigga, I'm not saying it's the right thing.
Yeah,
I'm on that.
I'm using this as an example because actually I'm on that too. But I'm just saying like whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying? I just try to figure out what's the best decision with not just myself.
Right.
How to raise them
along with her.
It could be anybody that give me them. It could be you. And if you tell me something that makes sense that I could give to them, help them grow.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to just be on some like. Yeah,
so I think another thing too is like, so I got one, right? And you take somebody else that might have 3. But I got my daughter 20. So I may have been through what you ain't been through. Even though you got more, I mean, I've been through what you ain't been through.
Right.
You don't know how to raise a 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 15. You don't know how to raise none of them yet because you ain't never had one of them.
Right, for sure.
So, and I'm that same way where my son is 3. Just because I got a 20-year-old, just because I got a 12-year-old son, don't mean I can't listen to somebody who's raised a 14-year-old son.
Right, for sure.
Because I never had one before.
For sure.
So for me, I got a 20-year-old child, but I've never had a 14-year-old son.
For sure.
So every day you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm constantly, I gotta tell, I used to tell my daughter, like, cause my pa used to tell me this. My daddy's daddy died when he was either 12 or 14, one of them two numbers for sure, but 12 or 14. So he used to always say, listen, my daddy died when I was little. I ain't had no daddy. So everything I'm doing is on the fly.
Right.
I'm learning.
Right.
Well, he used to tell that to me all the time,
Right.
which is true. But I started telling my daughter, hey, this is new for me. And it's new for you.
Yeah, I tell my son.
Because this might be new for me, but I never raised a 20-year-old girl.
For sure.
But shit, you ain't never been 20.
But it's gonna be like that with anybody though.
Right.
Even if you get another 20-year-old girl.
Well, yeah and no. Yeah and no, because that child's gonna be different. But give you an example. My daughter, when she first got a diaper rash, she was living with me, right? You cut off? When she first got a diaper rash and she was living with me and my partner, her godfather, hopped up. I say, Leno, we gotta go. We drove to the Children's Hospital.
Oh, thinking that's how.
Listen, the lady looking at me laughing.
Like, boy, go sit your duck ass down.
But she's crying because when she pee,
yeah,
it's burning.
Right. So you think it's
so I'm thinking
something wrong.
Listen, my mind going.
Yeah, it's fall first.
Somebody touched her. Like I'm on the edge. Cause it's just a diaper rash, and like I explained to the lady, Miss, I ain't got no vagina. So I don't know nothing about nothing, and I don't have no child.
Right.
Well, when you start thinking of things like that,
yeah,
little things like that, when I have another, not when I'm done with kids, but another girl,
you're gonna know. Yeah.
We not even jumping there. I'm going to get the diaper rash, the diaper cream, and, you know what I'm saying? So yes, that child is going to be different, but
you become a better parent.
Generally, you raising that child the same way.
And and I ain't gonna lie, like, this gonna be different, bro. But man, what I'm trying to raise, I don't understand. I don't know. I never saw before.
Facts.
So what I plan on raising, the king I plan on producing, the kings I plan on producing, it's like something I never saw before. So like, do billionaires know how to fight good? Do like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that really important to be teaching them?
No.
Or is it more important to be shaping?
Funny.
Is it more important to be shaping their mind to think different? You know what I'm saying? I have to restrict him and be like, look, don't ask me no questions. Like, this is how.
Because I'm your daddy.
Because I'm your daddy. No, don't. Nah, that don't. I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want a parent like that.
That's not my parents.
You know what I'm saying? Well, no, like, is it more important to be like, look, you know, I want you to learn how to fucking throw a jab because this nigga playing with you? Or is it more important to just like really teach his brain how to operate in a different capacity? So, like, a lot of things, shit that people trip on, and I'm just raising something that I never saw before.
So here's the difference. I agree with you. But the difference is the billionaires raising their kids. They're not raising their kids in the same environment.
Well, that's a fact.
So he may need to know how to throw a jab right now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I plan on putting them in environments, and technically they in different environments because whatever school they go to, but they in a 95% fucking.
And then I didn't have, like, my dad is a hell of a father. That's my dude. He's a hell of a father. Like, that's my dude.
Right.
We all together. Like, but he didn't teach me how to be a man.
He did, for sure.
I just had to watch him be a man. So I had to watch the mistakes. Even if you ask a question, they struggled so much and they went through so much. It's like, hey, bro, you know, man, we trying to, instead of sitting me down and saying, listen, sometimes you work hard, you got certain bills, you pay certain bills, you don't pay certain. Instead of saying that, it's like, get out my face, I ain't got it right now.
For sure, right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was never taught to me how to be a man.
Yeah.
I had to witness how to be a man and pick him up.
And listen, this is a great point for like women to understand. Like, great point for women to understand. Like, the generation that raised us was like 60s and shit like that. Like, they didn't have much. Like, they didn't have a lot of shit, right? Our race was behind.
Right.
Naturally.
Wasn't no Jay-Z's and
yeah, so they didn't have
billionaires from music and shit.
Yeah, so then so you take that generation that raised us, right? And then you go to our parents' generation. Our parents' generation was success to them was just staying above water.
Right. The middle class black family.
Yeah. So you know, you take one generation, they just happen to be out of slavery.
Right.
You take the next generation and lining this shit up. You take one generation, they just happen to be out of slavery and poverty. Take the next generation and they just trying to stay above water and look like everybody else around them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Have a middle class house or whatever like that. You take that, and that's the generation we learn from.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So them people was more quiet people because they were just doing. They didn't understand what they was doing.
They were stressed.
They were stressed. So my dad never taught me how to be a man. He just showed me. Like my daddy picked me up from school, dropped me off to school, went to work, picked me up from basketball practice, football practice, never missed not one. Never, ever in his entire life, as long as I could remember. But he never told me what the fuck he was doing. We never had conversations on the car ride to be like, listen, son, this is how you move. My dad ain't never did that. I talk to my son so much now. So it's like, and what I think women should take away from that as well, just, you know, men need to understand where they are at it. You got to have a different layer of brain to think about it. But what women should understand about that part is too, is we was shown how to be a man.
It wasn't that we were shown. We just saw.
So now we in a place where like we figuring this shit out by the shit that we saw.
It's like credit. You don't find out about it till it's bad.
For sure. Then that's how you learn.
That's the only commercial.
That's the only way to fix it.
Every commercial about credit is about how to fix your credit. None of them is about how to gain good credit.
For sure, 100%.
So it's the same thing with parents. Like with our fathers at least.
Yeah.
Them niggas, they were dudes were stressed, bro.
So that's what I'm saying. Then it goes back to
all of them. They all look older than what they were supposed to. You know what I'm saying? They look good now.
Right. So
then nigga, like the Temptations was 18, bro. And them niggas look like they was 50, nigga.
Around the Isles niggas had Jheri curls.
Yes, bro.
Was young.
Yes.
But you take that, and then you put that on. We not learning how to be. They're not teaching us how. They're not telling us, you find a good woman, you love a good woman, and you marry her. They're not telling us about no marriage.
No.
They're not telling us how to be a good man to the women they have in their life. Because most of our parents did right by our moms, but they didn't tell us. They didn't show us. They was too busy trying to
They were trying to stay above.
They was trying to stay above water. They wasn't taking on date nights. They wasn't showing that type of shit.
One of my mom's biggest issues with my daddy was
he never took out.
Not that he never took out, because they used to do Zulu club and shit. I mean, Zulu ball and shit like that. But like when he would get off on the weekend, she would want to go to Mississippi. He'd be like, man, I just want to stay at the couch. I just want to stay at home and sleep.
Man, my
but he did everything, bro.
Yeah, my dad
like, and once I got older, I'm like, damn, I realized this nigga used to and sometimes I would go to work with him. Like, just not even to work, but just go to work with him. And son, like if he picked me up after practice, he going back to his office. Yeah. And he's sitting in the office all day, every day, till like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, because it's his business. So now when he go home, it's like, now you got to get back up at 6 o'clock. Because you know what I'm saying? Because he got to get up for the crack of dawn. And now he gets 1 or 2 free days, Saturday and Sunday. He want to watch some football on Sunday. He's going to take you out and do something with you Saturday night, but you want him to wake up at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot on him. Well, that was one of the strains on my mom and daddy relationship.
For sure.
He didn't want to really do much. Now,
my mom and my dad too.
To their defense, he learned, because he was 18. He was 18 when he got married. 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 He was 18 when he got Because Not a nigga go on cruises and all kind of shit with women.
But it's because you get older. It's because
not only because he get older, he learned. Because he said, man, if I'd have knew what I knew then, if I'd have knew then what I know now, it would be different. And he have more fun. You know what I'm saying? He bought him a motorbike. But
that comes with maturity, bro. And you never stop growing.
But what I'm saying is, we are now grown men watching our grown fathers become that. Look how long we had to wait to see them become that.
No, listen,
you know what I'm saying? Like if they would have became that when we was 10,
bro,
our lives would be totally different.
All my daddy wanted was a vet and a bike.
Right.
This nigga still ain't got his vet. But he got his bike.
He got his bike.
And he spent no, I'm not even exaggerating. He spent 8 months planning to ride the bitch. And man, I can't wait to hop on my bike. You know what I'm saying? Because he excited about it, he happy about it, but he, you don't get much time. You know what I'm saying? Because they be so tired or whatever the case
do. And my pa's 66, bro, and still be under the house and on the roof.
Yeah. For sure. That shit crazy.
So I think one of the main things you said that I really rock with, women gotta understand that. Not just with raising men, because they're serious about raising men too, but raising men, being a man, being a respectable man, being I'm not gonna say loyal, because loyalty is in your heart, you know better.
For sure.
But being certain things that a man is, and they're like, oh, men wouldn't do that. A man, we don't always have it's almost like we've been given. There's 2 tables, and we got a table, and our daddy got a table, and he don't have instructions.
Fuck no.
Neither do we.
Right.
We just gotta watch him put that table together, and that's how we learn how to put that table together. That's what it feels like to try to be a man nowadays. Listen, I'm gonna do my best. But I don't have the I was never given the instructions because he didn't have the instructions.
For sure.
The reason he didn't have the instructions because his daddy couldn't give him the instructions because he was busy.
Right. I think women and men should even do this with themselves. I think we should talk. If you engage in a relationship, you have.
This is gonna be the last point.
Yeah, for sure. We gotta do it.
Yeah.
We engage in a conversation. I mean, we engage in a relationship or whatever like that. And then you talk about your boundaries, right? Look, as much as women and in a relationship talk about boundaries, you should also talk about goals that you want to work towards. Because trying to expect a perfect person, trying to expect a man to have it all figured out, what will you grow into? And will you even like the person you're growing to if it's
you about to leave in a few, bro?
Yeah. So it's I think women should be should understand that maturity it's not just like that. So if you got a man that don't like to take you out, you know what I'm saying, because he tired from work or whatever the case may be, it shouldn't be more of a fuck, you never take me out, blah to the blow, I'm gonna find another man to take me out. Well, you're gonna find another man that takes you out, and then he still have to mature from something else that man probably already had.
Yeah.
So it's don't be so quick to just give a nigga up just because it's oh, he not doing this. Well, allow him to grow into that. Allow him to mature into that. Shit just don't go like that.
And here's the part we're gonna disagree with, and we can leave on that. We'll agree to disagree. But a lot of men don't mature from. It's okay to make mistakes. Nigga, don't keep making the same mistake.
Well, that man has other issues that you should that's a different type of issue that you're gonna see somewhere else, right? So if you have the inability.
But what I'm saying is, if she can't, she might be yeah, I gotta get away from this nigga and go to the next one because he keeps making the same mistake.
Bro, we make mistakes multiple times.
But the same mistake.
If I might forget to take you out this week, and then I might forget to take you out.
That's a minor mistake. But if you keep forgetting for 5 years,
yeah, But bitch, I got something on my mind for 5 years.
See, nah, we're not doing
I got something on my mind for 5 years.
No.
So I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. Like, no, you got to give me time. Like, you got to give me time to grow into something other than what I am now.
Then we wasting her time.
That's cool. I'm not trying to waste your time. You know, if I'm not what you need, and
but you just said you don't want her to give up that.
I don't. No, I think that I think a woman should have, and I'm gonna be waiting on her to mature with different things too.
Right.
Like we both gonna be growing. Like,
but she's waiting for you, and you don't want her to leave.
But I'm gonna be
you
waiting
making
for
the
her
same exact mistakes.
But I'm gonna be waiting for her to grow into something too, and she making the same mistakes. If I tell her, listen, we should be at a point to when we argue, you never in your life call me out my name.
Mm-hmm.
If it happens, right, 2-3 times, I should wait until I should plan to wait until you mature enough to be like, damn, this shit is damaging to this nigga ego. No, you're not gonna just take.
No, because some people learn. Some people learn once somebody leaves them.
Right, that's fine, but I don't. But listen,
You may never learn if I don't leave you.
Yeah, that's cool, but what I'm saying is that's a personality type that you probably wouldn't have been with in the first place. I'm not gonna be with nobody that just gotta learn from me leaving them. At this point in my life, when I'm dating in the 20s, yeah, you gonna be fucking jumping in and out of shit because I don't like how that bitch moving. I don't like how this. Nah, she moving wrong because nobody really know themselves. But I'm talking about if you dating from 30 up, you should be able to know.
It's not. It's
50-year-old
immature men.
Listen, that 50-year-old man is not immature in everything.
No, but there's 30-year-old men that's not immature in everything. But when you're making the same mistake, he might only be immature in that. You can't expect a woman to just sit around and wait for him to change.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Especially if that means a lot in a relationship.
That's a fact. But that's 100% fact. But I'm saying that character trait is gonna be big enough to where you shouldn't have even been waiting at all. Like if I gotta wait on you to stop cheating, then yeah, bitch, if I gotta stop waiting on you to fuck niggas, then nah, bitch, I ain't fucking with you. That's not the type of maturity I'm waiting for you to grow into. I'm waiting for you to grow into a better woman than what you are now. It could be, fucking understanding how to handle arguments. It could be understanding we don't need to go to sleep.
But you want her to stay around until you get it together.
Until we get it together, because she might
But it ain't a we. We talking about men maturing. It ain't a we get it together. We getting it together is if the man matures sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes women be ready, bro. And we don't.
No, that's not real.
Disagree.
No woman is 100% ready.
I ain't say that. I didn't say that. What? I didn't say this woman is 100% ready.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so
I said sometimes women have it and they're waiting for us to mature. They be 32 and the nigga be 41 and he ain't mature and she got it all together.
That's a fact. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm talking about what we maturing into should be something minute to where it's just gonna better the relationship, not make or break it. Does that make sense?
Nope. We disagree. I like what that one.